understand about the procedure, then the question really goes to who should consider doing egg freezing. Does every single girl should go to the clinic and asking for egg freezing in order to make sure the future they can have a healthy baby, or are only certain, particular people should consider this?
Well, that's a good question. And I think, again, sometimes it comes to talking to a doctor or talking to someone who really understands the process to make the best decision for each individual woman. But we usually encourage women in their 20s and 30s to think about this. Women in their 40s might already be up against the wall a little bit in terms of their own fertility, and they might want to consider some other even more aggressive options than egg freezing. But especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, you're really going to have the benefit of having your younger, good quality eggs on ice for the future. 20 years old might be a little young. There's some people talking about maybe giving it as a graduation present from
like
university,
22, 23,
but which is not wrong. And actually, we think that the peak egg quality might be around 22 to 27. So that certainly is a good age to think about it. And yet, you also have to combine that with the fact that many 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, they might get married and have children and never need these eggs. And so then they've gone through this really for nothing. And so I think if a 27-year-old thought she was planning to go back to law school or was going to work in a very high-pressure job for, 10 years and not be able to have a family, then it would be great for her. I think if a 27-year-old is already dating someone and they're very serious and they're planning to try to have children soon, then maybe not so important for them. Maybe it's more important for them just to be very proactive about their choices and attempting pregnancy. Most doctors, based on studies in the United States, would say that the ideal age is about 34 or 35. And that's because at 34 to 35, if they're not planning to get pregnant right away, it may take them a few years to find someone, a few years to decide to have a baby, and then by that time they're already in their late 30s. Younger than that is certainly fine, but 34, 35 would be ideal as opposed to waiting till 38 if you have a choice. On the other hand, at the other end of the spectrum is the women that are 39, almost 40, maybe even 41, 42. And while if they have good egg reserve, if they're going to make lots of eggs, they might be a great person to freeze eggs at that point, because in your 40s, the egg numbers start dropping. Quality is dropping some too, but numbers can drop very quickly. So if you're lucky enough to be a 40-year-old that could produce a lot of eggs in a single cycle, then egg freezing is great for you.
What is the chance for 40-plus women making a lot of eggs?
Well, it's very dependent on maybe their family history and their health. If they haven't been smoking and they've never taken any medicines that would affect their eggs, they might produce some. But in general, a lot of 40, 41-year-olds, the average number of eggs they might make is 6 or 7. And so if you happen to be lucky enough to be someone who could make 15 to 20, then it would be a great idea for you still in your 40s. If you're someone that's going to make 3 or 4 eggs in a single cycle, it might be better to pursue some more aggressive options like IVF, where we're fertilizing the eggs right away to find out about the health.
Okay, I see.